Hi, I'm Jason Statham. Welcome to Almeria, where today we've been riding this, the 2017 Yamaha R6.
Wash and blow dry. Oh, wash and blow dry. Did you blow dry yours this morning? Sorry. Mind you, got a fucking hairy arse. Where have you been?
Went to Almeria, as you probably know now, for the launch of the 2017 Yamaha R6. Yes. I mean, to look at, you think...
It looks spunky.
Yeah.
It looks nice.
I love what they've done with the front end. It's different enough from the R1 to make it individual and to make it its own. And
yeah, but it's still strongly part of the family.
Definitely, yeah.
Keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
So it's like the incestuous love child. Okay, let's not go there.
It's the incestuous love child of the R1 and the MT10, because do you know what? It features the MT10's ABS pump and front wheel.
Okay.
So
MT10 front wheel?
Yeah.
Random. So, what was it like?
I'll just caveat my initial disappointment with the fact that Euro 4 can do one.
But it's here to stay.
It's here to stay.
Well, technically, if we leave the EU, then it may not be here to stay, but there's no way manufacturers are going to make a special homogenization for the UK.
No, exactly. And if there was a class to suffer from Euro 4, it's going to be the 600s, because it's, it abides by racing regulations, and it's not like you can just up power by upping cubes, because it wouldn't be fit for racing. And Yamaha were really, really desperate to point out that they want to carry on. They want to carry on racing.
Which is great.
And everyone loves the 600 class, and everywhere you look, whether it's track days, races, towns, commutes, Sunday thrashes, a lot of people are on 600 still, albeit 5-year-old bikes. But it's a vicious circle, because no one's buying them. Manufacturers aren't developing them. Sales figures are down, so the class is unfortunately dying. But hopefully this R6 will be an instigator.
Kick a bit of life back into it.
Be the Keith Flint of the motorcycling world. Yeah, maybe not.
Sort of.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we got onto the bike, and straight away it's thinner. The bike looks thinner. It looks much.
It's kind of 675 slimness.
Yes. Yeah. Actually, yeah, it is. And considering it's still a 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
It's obviously wide at the engine, but the fairing's much thinner. The tank, like I said, is much thinner. It just feels like a different bike. New clocks, etc. And you got some different switchgear for the traction control and D modes. But essentially, you look at the base, the structure of the bike, it's unchanged. So the same engine bar Euro 4.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a screamer. The chassis, the main frame is unchanged, so you've got the same geometry. Although there is a different triple clamp and new front forks, which are sexy. We'll get into them later. So yeah, the main crux of the bike is the same. And we rolled out a pit lane, and it, not going to lie, it felt gutless. 600s, particularly R6, felt strangled anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it's a top end bike, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, to get anything out of it that's exciting, you have to be right up the top.
Yeah.
Even on the old bike.
Yeah. And even more so with this, it's 10 grand. It needs to be above 10 grand. And we rolled out a pit lane. I was just a little bit gutted, really. But what do you expect? Euro 4. There's nothing that could be done, obviously. Otherwise, Yamaha wouldn't have released a bike. So it's 7 horsepower down, which is a lot for a 600 compared to last year. So yes, I mean, headline figures aren't brilliant.
But there is a way around it. Which is
There
put a
is.
full system on it.
Exactly. And we'll come to that a bit later. But okay, should we go to it now? Actually,
I think just why not? Because that's what everyone's going to. That's the headline, isn't it? Everyone's going to be like, "Oh yeah, it's great, but yeah, it's like gutless and slow. I'll get an old one."
The Yamaha gave us, there was 3 kitted bikes there. So they had a full system, kit ECU, obviously for maps and various bits and bobs.
Nice.
And a blipper. And we got on this bike and it was just like the R6 everyone hoped it would be. It's stunning. So, really punchy. You open the throttle and it works rather than wheezing, It was just...
So you saw the bike it can be.
Exactly, yeah. So this is the race kitted one. We got a full system, ECU changes, and a yeah, this one. Yeah.
This one is a World Supersport version.
Oh, is it?
No traction control,
yeah.
No ABS. Kit version, ABS. Oh, sorry, no traction control, no ABS.
Right.
It has sophisticated throttle control, engine braking is different, and it has the blipper system.
Oh yeah.
So you close the throttle.
Yeah.
And then you can shift back without the clutch. It has the full titanium race exhaust on it, and lots of fun.
Sweet.
So close the throttle fully when you downshift without clutch. You will notice you can of course open the throttle when it starts sliding. No traction control. You have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
So as the Supersport rider.
Is it road shift?
Normal shift.
Yeah.
Name please. This one.
Fagan. Yes, that's better.
And you liked
its true potential. It's stunning. It's like I said, plenty of power. It felt like a genuine supersport racer.
Yeah.
Because the chassis, and this is obviously 2017's major strong point.
Yeah. Is
the chassis. It handles as well as any other sports bike I've ridden, and the forks make a massive difference. The old bike was quite sort of two-staged in suspension. It's either too stiff or not enough damping in it, and so you brake or you have this kind of rigid feeling in the suspension. But this is much more plush and there's more progression throughout the stroke. And
are they YKB forks?
KYB.
KYB.
Yes.
YK's on the zipper of a Fly, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. I can see how you got confused there.
It's that sexy.
Yeah.
It's about getting your wanger out.
Yeah.
Do they have wangers?
No, they're R1 derived.
So KYB
43mm forks rather than the old 41mm forks.
Okay.
And along with this new triple clamp, the front end just feels... If I didn't know beforehand, I would have thought that the geometry is different because it holds the line better, it steers quicker, it feels lighter even though it's 1 kilo heavier. The whole bike is actually a bit more poised and responsive on its springs.
Yeah, because the old one was quite twitchy.
It was twitchy. Yeah. And it wasn't as quick steering as some of its rivals. Yeah. So, which is a strange one. But this is stable. Didn't have any problems at all.
Because I watched your onboard this morning over a cup of tea, and it looks...
Over a clenched fist.
Yes, because I'm still kind of upset. But
I didn't mean that, but clenched fist.
Well, like a...
You were wanking over my lap.
Okay. Over your lap?
Yeah. No?
Oh, right. I thought you meant over your lap. It's like, fucking hell, mate.
No, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like a proper riot. It looks like screamer, like bang it down, like meow,
Oh, it is.
meow, meow. What's
It
slipper
is.
clutch?
Yeah, it's the same slipper clutch.
Yeah.
But I don't have any problems with backing in. I mean, it is. You have got to absolutely abuse the thing. You know,
Yeah.
there's no
It
point.
sounded like you were.
There's no point in mincing around in 7,000, 8,000 RPM
Yeah.
and letting the torque.
Yeah.
It just doesn't do it. So you've really got to abuse it, and you can abuse it. And likewise, the chassis,
It likes it.
it likes it.
It likes it.
Yeah. And another important aspect, the R6 brakes of old, and in fact, Yamaha brakes of old have been very wooden and not very nice at all.
Even brakes of new, really.
Yes. But these, so it's got bigger discs,
Okay.
and it's got an R1 master cylinder, and the brakes are so much better than the old bike. No fade, plenty of power, no complaints at all.
Good.
Really nice and progressive.
So what's the difference between the kit bike and the normal bike? Like the highlights?
So the main highlight obviously is power.
Yeah.
You know,
And is that due to the exhaust? That's any engine changes?
that's nothing mechanical.
So everything's the same.
Everything's the same. There's nothing mechanical. It's purely the exhaust
Yeah.
and the kit ECU.
And like air filters or something. No.
No,
Nothing. Just wow.
no. That's it. Just the exhaust and the ECU changes. So straight away the motor is much livelier, and it just, like I said, it feels like a proper race bike. And being 10 kilos lighter, I think it is, it's going to turn a bit better, it's going to steer a bit better, and it just feels, generally it feels a bit lighter.
Wow.
Yeah.
No shit.
Also, interestingly, because it was that much lighter, the suspension felt stiffer, because it had less work to do, the tyres had less work to do. So straight away the suspension felt stiffer, and I kind of didn't...
But do you think maybe they just clicked some buttons?
No.
No? Exactly the same. And the forks, everything, exactly the same. Do you know how much the exhaust is?
We don't know yet. The prices have yet to be confirmed.
But that's a full Akropovich.
Full Acro system, yeah.
Okay, so it's going to be...
It's going to be £2,000.
It's going to be £2,000, isn't
Yeah.
it? So do you think you actually, like, what I'm getting at is, do you think the people will be able to just do a cheaper version and bypass the cat and just get like Austin Racing or like whatever?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
DCAT slip-on for 400 quid.
Austin Racing, and they're going to do a DCAT pipe and can for half the price. Probably way more than half the price of a
way less than half the price, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And hopefully we'll be able to get one on 44 awards soon.
That is true, yeah. I mean, I'm going to ask you about the traction control in a minute and whether it's actually worth it on a bike like that. Do you think the electronics on this bike bring something to the table that than the old bike lacked?
In a word, yes, because the throttle response, the A standard and B, offer something very different.
Okay.
Each offers a different throttle response. Now, A is more direct, it's lighter, it feels lighter, more responsive.
That's like the race mode one, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Whereas B mode is a bit softer, and as it says on the tin, it's a more progressive throttle action. So some won't like A, but some will, and some will like standard, and some won't. You know, but all offer the same top end power. It's just a different characteristic at the bottom with the initial throttle openings.
Yeah.
Traction control, I think that is more than just Yamaha making a performance or safety aspect. I think this is a bike that, you know, sooner or later, bikes will have to feature traction control.
Yeah.
Like they do ABS,
Yeah.
bikes will have to feature traction control. And there's no harm in it. It's a really good system. It's crude. It uses front and rear. It uses front and rear wheel speed sensors.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There's no IMU. There's no magic inside.
Yeah.
But it works. It saved me a couple of times on an old tyre. But I found as a faster, more experienced rider, I found that it was too intrusive, so I turned it off.
Even on like the lowest intrusion level.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was another issue. It's not really an issue. When you change the gearing, the parameters of the traction controllers are also altered because of its crudeness.
So it can't recalibrate itself.
No, so you have to go through the race kit
Right. Okay.
type thing
Okay.
and buy the ECU.
Yeah, or just turn it off.
Or just turn it off. Yeah. I mean, the ABS really, it's there purely because
It has to be.
Euro 4. And unfortunately, Yamaha hasn't put that function in where you can turn it off. Now, only once, the back at the end of the back straight at Almeria,
Yeah.
you're hard on the brakes.
Yeah.
Hard, unless you're the guy who hit the cafe.
Yeah. He has to jump off it.
Yeah, they jump off it, yeah. And it only came in once and ran on a bit. But other than that, I didn't have any problems at all with it.
Okay. And tyres? What tyres were you running? The OE tyre that comes with the bike?
We were on Bridgestone R10s.
Okay.
They come on S21s, which is a perfectly good tyre. So obviously being at Almeria, being at a proper track test, they gave us R10s to use.
Okay.
They took the mirrors off, and we were running the slip-on Akrapovic's can. Apart from that, the bike was completely standard.
Nice. Would you buy one? Hang on, I'll rephrase that. Well, I won't rephrase it. How much is it?
It is £10,999.
Okay.
So, in the grand scheme of things, when you look at every other Japanese manufacturer who isn't producing a Euro 4 600cc, and when you look at MV Augustas, because that's the only other 674, that's the only 600 that is making. They're making a Euro 4 bike, which will be, I'm sure, it'll be extortionate.
Yeah.
It is a lot of money. There's no hiding from that. But if you want a 600, you want a new 600. Not only is this the only choice, but it is. I would buy one. Yes, if I had 11 grand, I would buy one.
Over 1,000.
No, and this is the issue.
This is the question, isn't it?
Then again,
it's the type of thing for me. I want one because I'd just like to have it to do a bit of short circuit work and just have a different experience on track, rather than like nailing everyone down the straight and feeling that little sort of protection blanket, little bit more than a big scary. Oh God, so.
And there's a lot to be said for spanking a smaller capacity bike and extracting every single bit out of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people will benefit from not riding an S1000RR or a R1 or whatever bike they've got,
I completely
and opting
agree.
one of these and learning how to ride a bike properly. I'm not trying to be condescending or a C-nut, but that's the hard fact.
You can hide in 1,000 everywhere.
You can just open the throttle.
Yeah.
Whereas this bike particularly, it will sort of nurture you into learning corner speed and braking, apex, trail braking.
Yeah.
As a track bike, it's a brilliant bike.
Yeah.
You can't fault it. You really cannot fault it.
Yeah.
Because the majority of people will put a system on, they'll take it to someone like JHS, they'll get the ECU flashed, you'll have an instant 15 horsepower at the top, 10 horsepower in the mid-range, and it's like a different bike. But as an everyday bike on the road, it's a struggle.
But then the old one was
hard work.
But then the old one was really hard work as well. It
Yeah.
was not the wise choice if you were going to sit on the road. But it was the best of the bunch on track.
Yeah.
So, give me a little summary. Give me a little. What if people are interested in buying it? I was going to say,
So, yes, it's lost power, but the chassis and the subtle improvements more than make up for that. And I think if you're going to buy a bike for 11 grand and you really want the R6, you like the looks of it, you like what it's about, then you're going to be able to afford 1,500 quid, 2 grand for a system and an ECU flash.
bung it all on the PCP deal.
Yeah, bung it on the card.
Bung it on the card.
Bung it on the plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the biggest question, honestly now. New one, which you're going to have to spend another 2 grand on sorting out.
Yeah.
So you're up at 12.5 grand, 13 grand. Or buy an old one for 6 grand.
There's too many variables in that question.
Okay. New one or old one for half the price?
New one.
Okay.
On the flip side, by the time you spent the money on the old bike with suspension, a quick shifter, the chassis changes, you know, traction control, that sort of thing.
Yeah, true.
You're creeping up there anyway.
True.
But yeah, I genuinely love this bike, and it makes track days, it makes circuits like Almeria fun.
Yeah. I like Almeria.
I like Almeria, but it's hard work on 1,000.
Yeah, it is.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Whereas this was just a joy.
Yeah.
Absolute joy.